Hawaii, the land of sun, surf, scenery, and for one couple, a miracle. 26-year-old Hugh Alexander surprised his girlfriend Petra with a 4-day trip to the fabled beaches of Oahu. It had been the ideal romantic holiday. But before it was over, Hugh would come closer to death than he would ever want to be. Drawn to the high surf of Oahu's North Shore, Hugh and Petra wanted a scenic backdrop for a souvenir picture. It was a photo opportunity Hugh would never forget.
Right as she motioned to me to take the picture, I knew something was wrong. A bunch of spray went up into the air. It was almost like a dream. And I went over the edge, backwards, head and shoulders first. I knew there were rocks below. And the first thought that entered my mind was that I was going to land head first on these rocks. And instead I went into the water. I could breathe sometimes when I came up to the surface, but a lot of times I was just underwater.
Then, a massive wave slammed him against the rocks and trapped him in a cave. Lifeguards Brian Kialani and Craig Davidson immediately went to help.
We got a call from our dispatch saying that we had a swimmer in distress. We thought it was a basic rescue. You know, we sped down. It takes us about 5 minutes. It's about 7 miles away. And when we got there, there's a bunch of people standing around the Moiho area. And when we got close enough to communicate with the people there and try to gain information, they were saying that this person got washed off the side of the cliff. And basically, I jumped off the ski and swam where he fell off and let, the currents carry me to wherever it may. And it carried me to the opening of the cave. So I swam out thinking that, this is going to be a body recovery. It's like 20 minutes and nobody saw anything. Kind of assume the worst most of the time.
I couldn't tell if anyone heard me or not. But my plan was to yell for help after 30 minutes.
As I got closer to the cave, I heard, somebody calling, help me, help me. And at that point, we said, he's in a cave, he's alive. And your adrenaline just pumped, everything just snaps and, your whole body goes into a different mode.
Hugh had been trapped in the cave for over an hour, and the pounding surf made it impossible for the rescuers to get in to save him. Then a huge set of waves forced the lifeguards to retreat. Now, only a miracle could save Hugh.
Our hang time was too long, and we stayed in there at the last possible minute, and when we punched out, punching through the waves, going back out, we hit that rock, that pinnacle, and damaged the ski and took on water.
Without a quick response vehicle, Brian and Craig were stranded far away from Hugh. Miraculously, Hugh decided to put his own plan into action.
So after about 45 minutes, I decided that I would try to get out. And the first couple of times I tried to get out of the cave, I couldn't get to the front.
The third time was lucky. Although only out for a brief moment, Hugh was given some reason for hope.
And right then I realized that if I could get out again, that somebody may grab me. Because when I was out, just for a moment, I saw some guys on a jet ski.
A second jet ski was brought to the location. Once again, Brian and Craig entered the impact zone, trying to get to Hugh.
And when he went in, we didn't hear anything, and we kept yelling. So again, we are assuming the worst again, but not giving up. Just keep going and keep yelling, and then he yells back, and then adrenaline again pumps back up.
But time was running out, and Hugh's chances were getting slimmer.
Some of the waves in the second hour were so big that every time they would come, it would be like, I would have the feeling of having a concussion. My head would hit the rocks, and everything would go white. And it was unbelievably painful. I was cold, I was shaking, I felt like somebody hit me all over with a baseball bat. I was getting tired. But I kept telling myself to hold on and push harder and try and get out again.
Hugh had now been inside the cave trying to stay alive for 2.5 hours. Brian and Craig had been attempting a rescue at the mouth of the cave for almost 2 hours. There had been no response from Hugh for over 20 minutes. Then came the miracle Hugh was waiting for.
There it is, go for it. And so I did. I swam straight for the front of the cave and back down to the bottom and popped up out into the ocean, and there they were.
I threw my partner with the sled right on top of you and just locked on and then punched through that first wave and then took off. But as we punched through the first wave and we took off, he and my partner fell off. But the good thing was that he was still connected, my partner, to the ski. So all I did is just got him out of that impact zone and then circled back around and then put him on a sled, and then we brought him to the beach.
Hugh had massive abrasions to his head, arms, chest, and legs, but he miraculously survived an incredible ordeal. Even the lifeguards were amazed.
You look at the power of, the surfing, you look at the situation, you go, there's no way they can survive, And like I say, it's a miracle that he can survive.
For 2.5 hours, all I could see was dying. I could see no way that I was going to live. I couldn't possibly see getting out of there. I was sure the cave was going to fill up with water and that I was going to drown before I could get out.
Hugh was airlifted to a local hospital where he had plenty of time to think about how this miracle had changed his life.
I realized and have realized that my life could be over in a second. And I just try to reach my potential. I just try to enjoy each day and reach whatever potential I have in the things I do. I have no idea what to do for those guys. I think about them from time to time, but what can you do? I mean, they've given me my life.